Führer. The title, meaning leader or guide, was the absolute pinnacle of the Nazi Party hierarchy. Adolf Hitler adopted it in 1921 after demanding full control of the party during a dispute over a potential merger with another far-right group. His demand was granted, and from then on the Nazi Party became centered entirely around his personality and vision. After President Paul von Hindenburg's death in 1934, Hitler merged the offices of President and Chancellor into the new title Führer and Reich Chancellor. This gave him total political control of Germany. When conscription was reintroduced in 1935, he added the role of Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. The guiding principle of the system was the Führerprinzip, or leader principle. This meant that Hitler's word was considered the highest law. All subordinates were accountable only to him, and every institution, political, military, or civilian, had to carry out his will without question. Even school teachers, factory managers, and sports coaches became extensions of this system, ensuring the entire society operated as a chain of command flowing from Hitler downward. In 1941, he claimed the additional title of Germanic Führer, asserting leadership not only over Germans, but also over what he called the broader Nordic race, including Norwegians, Dutch, Danes, and Swedes. Deputy Führer. The official second-in-command of the party, held exclusively by Rudolf Hess from 1933 to 1941. Hess had been one of Hitler's earliest loyal followers, captivated by him after a 1920 speech. Their personal bond was so strong that Hitler often referred to Hess as his faithful follower. Hess's office in Munich and Berlin oversaw vital departments including law, finance, education, and party health policy. He co-signed Hitler's decrees, reviewed party legislation, and had the power to send individuals to concentration camps or to increase penalties against regime enemies. He played a role in shaping the 1935 Nuremberg laws, which stripped German Jews of citizenship and banned intermarriage with Aryans. Hess also managed the NSDAP Office for Foreign Affairs and created the Volksdeutscher Rat, a council for ethnic Germans abroad that answered only to him. By 1939 he was part of Hitler's six-man council of ministers for the defense of the Reich, and Hitler even named him second in line to succeed him after Hermann Göring. But in 1941, Hess secretly flew to Britain in an attempt to negotiate peace without Hitler's approval. This bizarre act ended his political career and shifted party power to Martin Bormann. Reichsleiter. The Reich leader was the highest party rank directly under Hitler. It was established in 1933 and initially given to 16 men, with more added later. Reichsleiters each controlled a specific area of the party's nationwide activity and reported only to Hitler. Joseph Goebbels, as Reichsleiter for propaganda, built the regime's media machine. He controlled newspapers, radio, and film, and in 1943 pushed for total war, mobilizing all aspects of society. Alfred Rosenberg was Reichsleiter for ideology. He ran the party's Office of Foreign Affairs, directed the Reich Ministry for the occupied Eastern Territories, and oversaw Nazi cultural looting and censorship. Walter Funk, Reichsleiter for Economics, also became Minister of Economics and President of the Reichsbank, helping to funnel stolen assets from Holocaust victims into Germany's war economy. Hans Frank, Reichsleiter for Law, later governed occupied Poland, where he supervised forced labor and 4 extermination camps. Max Amann oversaw publishing and propaganda distribution, running the party's press empire and profiting from expropriated Jewish businesses. Reichsleiters were not symbolic. They were the men who translated Hitler's vision into practical policy across propaganda, law, economy, and occupation. Dienstleiter. The service leader was created in 1933 as the second highest rank within the party's national leadership. Unlike Reichsleiter, which required Hitler's personal appointment, Dienstleiter could be earned through promotion. There were 3 levels: Dienstleiter, Hauptdienstleiter, and Oberdienstleiter. These positions were often held by senior officials in national party offices who were responsible for policy execution. One of the most significant figures to hold this rank was Robert Ley. As Hauptdienstleiter, he helped design the system that dismantled Germany's trade unions. He later became Reichsleiter and head of the German Labor Front, which replaced all unions with a single Nazi-controlled body. Dienstleiters ensured that the Nazi Party's bureaucracy functioned smoothly, acting as a bridge between top leadership and regional officials. Gauleiter. The regional leader was one of the most powerful positions below Reichsleiter. Each Gauleiter ruled over a Gau, or party region. They controlled propaganda, political organization, and enforcement of party policy within their territory. All Gauleiters were appointed directly by Hitler and could not be dismissed without his consent. This gave them near absolute power in their regions, often eclipsing state officials. By the end of the regime, there were 43 Gaue. Some Gauleiters became infamous for their fanaticism. Baldo von Schirach, Gauleiter of Vienna, organized deportations of Jews. Karl Hanke, Gauleiter of Lower Silesia, later became the last head of the SS. Arthur Greiser, Gauleiter of the Wartheland in occupied Poland, implemented ghettoization and extermination. Albert Forster, Gauleiter of Danzig, West Prussia, carried out ethnic cleansing and forced Germanization. During the war's final months, Gauleiters were tasked with organizing local militias and defending their territories to the last man, Befehlsleiter. The command leader was a senior political rank beneath Gauleiter, Dienstleiter, and Reichsleiter. The title was used for individuals who held significant authority within the party bureaucracy or government ministries. Albert Speer, Hitler's favored architect and later Minister of Armaments, was promoted to Befehlsleiter in 1942. His position allowed him to oversee Germany's massive war production program, which relied heavily on forced labor. Gerhard Klopfer, deputy to Martin Bormann in the party chancellery, also held this rank. He was present at the 1942 Wannsee Conference, where the coordination of the final solution was discussed. Befehlsleiters acted as high-ranking administrators, often bridging the gap between regional Gauleiters and the national leadership in Munich. Kreisleiter. The district leader ran the party at the county level. About 650 Kreisleiters existed in pre-war Germany. Growing to over 900 once occupied territories were integrated. Their role began as local election organizers during the Weimar Republic, but after 1933 they became the backbone of Nazi local governance. Kreisleiters oversaw propaganda campaigns, enforced Nazi policies, coordinated Hitler Youth and women's organizations, and ensured ideological conformity at the county scale. They answered directly to Gauleiters and often held enormous local power, rivaling traditional civil authorities. Some, such as Wilhelm Kube in East Prussia, later moved into even more influential administrative posts in occupied territories like Belarus. Ortsgruppenleiter, the local group leader, controlled towns, villages, or city districts of 1,500 to 3,000 households. They were the primary visible representatives of the party for most Germans. After 1933, Ortsgruppenleiters replaced many functions of traditional municipal government. They oversaw local propaganda, rationing, civil defense, and sometimes even military organization through the Volkssturm in 1944–45. They supervised Zellenleiters beneath them, creating a chain of command from the Gauleiter down to the street level. Zellenleiter. The cell leader managed a block of 8 to 12 city streets covering 160 to 480 households. Originally created in 1930 to mobilize voters, they became central to the Nazi surveillance state after 1933. They organized rallies, monitored dissent, reported on anti-Nazi activity, and distributed propaganda. During the war, their duties expanded to civil defense, local mobilization, and ensuring community compliance with rationing and labor demands. Many future high-ranking Nazis began their careers as Zellenleiters, using the position as a stepping stone into the party hierarchy. Blockleiter. The block leader controlled a neighborhood of 40 to 60 households. They were the lowest level of formal authority in the Nazi political structure, but they played a crucial role in everyday life. Blockleiters collected donations, distributed leaflets, and, most importantly, reported on the political reliability of their neighbors. They maintained files on households, tracked who displayed Nazi flags on holidays, and noted any signs of disloyalty. They were the face of the regime at the most local level, feared by many as informants and enforcers of conformity. Helfer. The Helper was the lowest rank in the party's political leadership corps, sitting just above probationary recruits. It was often a junior position, commonly used in student organizations or youth groups. Helfers acted as assistants to higher officials, learning party administration and gaining experience for promotion. Though they had little independent power, the role served as an entry point into the hierarchy, ensuring that new generations were constantly drawn into the party's ranks.